cents VMs, so we have like an
That's
extra
like
VMs.
going.
This is at 8 a.m. only.
Yeah.
It's for networking.
Yeah, it's either 8 a.m.
or online.
I know, right? Yeah, it's either 8 a.m. or like 2 on my phone. But if I say that, I need to come in the morning. That's my roommate got us in my room like at 12:30 every night.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
You want to check to see whether you have access here in a second.
What?
I want to check if you have access to the CF push. Everyone should have it now. Don't break it. You do a full control one. We're all sharing the same one. So.
Oh.
Well, I wasn't gonna call it out the catalog. I could.
You could, but that would require you to work more than a day in advance.
No, I could do it right now. I don't want to take half a second, but it would require.
It'd take like 10 minutes, right?
What?
It'd take like 10 minutes to push that to the catalog.
It would not. It'd take like 5. It would. Yes, it would take a second to push this on the catalog. More importantly, it would mean that instead of having 20 like probably was going to be like 25 to 26 VMs, you would have like 125 VMs. Which I personally see very little issue with, but the fact that I have to fix them up web, okay, that's also true. Talking about that.
What's the name of the VM? The
Should be CCDC
Okay.
automation. Should be the one there.
What is this one?
And it is slightly broken, so I fixed it. There's no internet in it. I have to off the DevSecO3. So what do you think about the idea, Nick, of just me having a bot that's continually authenticates the network over and over again?
Bad idea.
I like it though. It means I don't have to punch my credentials in it.
Yeah. And you'll get blamed for the Bitcoin money.
Oh, yeah, blamed for Has anyone actually ever got blamed for stuff yet?
I think someone, I don't know if, no, someone got caught for Bitcoin money, but he was using his own creds, I think.
Oh, well that's, yeah, that's, don't Bitcoin mine the ILF, guys. Plus CPU mine's super inefficient, right?
Yeah. They got the GPU cluster, don't they?
I feel like, yeah, but it's like, if you pull up one VM, now you have like maybe, 16 cores, 32 server cores. If you pull out, and you might not get caught. If you pull out like 30 or 40 servers, you're gonna get caught in like the day.
I think it's a good idea.
Please try it, just don't use my creds. I take no responsibility, of course.
You should offer a detailed tutorial.
I have a Bitcoin mine in the ILF. I've already been told by Eric to not do several things. It's always funny when he not supposed to share that out. You're not supposed to know to do that one. That one's also bad. Probably the funnier one was he caught me rickrolling Evan Bolt with ILab VMs.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I just every VM was a word, and there were numbers at the front, so they'd be in order. It wouldn't have been that bad, but they all had like 3 VMs and they all had an org network connection.
Should we get started then? Okay, so Linux automation. So this is the problem we're trying to solve. This is a team packet from Nationals 2 years ago. I got highlighted the 11 Unix systems. There's some Linux, some BSD. I don't remember, what was OpenBravo? Do you remember what that was?
I don't know, OpenBSD.
Yeah, OpenBSD, and then we had Solaris, I think, in there as well. So there's like 11 Unix systems. Typically we have 3 Unix admins at Nationals, so that means $4 a person. Doing everything serially takes a lot of time and is basically a waste of time. It's very slow. You have to run the checklist on every system, and then you could end up taking an hour to finish everything on your 4th system. So I think like normal checklist probably takes like 15 minutes, possibly 10.
If it goes well.
If it goes well, true. So this is our goal for today, or if we can manage it. This is probably going to be more of a long-term thing. We're going to try to create a version of the Linux checklist which can be run in an automated or parallel sort of fashion. So we want to be able to run the checklist at the same time on multiple systems. So some requirements: all the tools we need have to be quick and easy to install. They have to be available on older systems. So we have to be able to run stuff on like Debian 6 or like CentOS 6, things like that. Hopefully you should be able to catch errors as they happen, so we don't actually leave like a password unchanged or something like that. And an interactive solution's better than non-interactive, because then we can run things, it's a little bit quicker because we can run things in real time rather than having to write it up and then run it. And then host-based customization would be nice if we can do it. There's some general stuff I think we can do, just like baseline firewall stuff, and then user password changes. But if we can do customization, so we can have like a different password for users on different systems, and do custom IP tables rules for each system, so that like the web server can allow web traffic in, so we don't have to do like, we're just gonna allow everything in because we can't like narrow it down enough on a per system basis. So as close as we can get to like fully customizable hosts would be great. So these are a couple of options we've looked at. They're just like vague notions we know of. PDSH is a parallel SSH tool, so it's pretty easy to install. It's usually in just about every repo, I think, right? And it's supposedly interactive depending on how you use it. I'll go into it a little bit later, its limitations that it might have. I've only messed around with it for like an hour or two. Fabric is another tool I've used in the past. It's more of an automation tool, so this is something you would write a script beforehand and then run it on multiple systems. You don't like run interactively. Can be a little bit difficult to install, especially if you're trying to install version 2, because you have to install it through pip, and pip can be a little bit tough because it doesn't make sure you have all your dependencies met. So for example, it uses a crypto library which might not have the OpenSSL dev package installed or the libffi dev package installed, so we got to watch out for those things. I've used version 1 in the past. I haven't messed around with version 2 much, so if we want to mess around with that, probably version 1 is one we're going to be looking at mostly, but version 2 might be more useful. I don't know. So here's a little example of how PDSH works. So you do PDSH TAC R is for the connection method, so you can do multiple things. You can do SSH, you can do exec, which just runs a process on your own system in parallel. Then there's also a few different ones as well, like RSH, MRSH, things like that, which you can look into. And then you do TechW for a host list, which can do sort of like a little bit of a regex thing like this. We can do like 10 to 100. And this is an example of what exec looks like. So you can do %u for our username, %h for host. Yeah. And then, yeah, so challenges here, something I've just in the couple of hours I've messed around with it, is that the SSH method for PDSH might require you to have SSH keys all the time. I think that's probably the case because it just uses SSH under the hood, and SSH doesn't allow you to type in passwords automatically. It has to be interactive. So that could be an issue. We could look into maybe like doing a copy ID, SSH copy ID, like across multiple systems, see if that works. And then in the little I've messed around with SSH pass with exec, it didn't seem to work well with parallelism. You could log into all the systems at once, but when you try to type commands, like it would just hang. So you can look a bit more into that as well. Here's Fabric. So this is an example of a Fabric file. So it's just a little Python script. You label your hosts here in the emp.hosts. You do username, you do a password there, and then it runs on tasks. So you define a task that should have just a little bit broken. Can fix that quick. This should be a function like that.
Function call down there taking args?
You can make it take args. I have to look at the documentation again.
No,
Make sure that
that
works.
okay. Is that last line, that bottom thing on the bottom left?
Yes. So this is the top part here is the Fabric file. So you define a task like that, and then you can say I want to run this command, on whatever systems. It does it serially by default, but you can add a decorator, so you put @parallel on top of the function definition, and it'll run in parallel across all the hosts. And then to actually run it, you run on the command line fab and then the task name. So it'd be like fab task A, and that'll do that. So my thinking here is that PDSH is probably going to be the quickest if we can get it working, and then Fabric is going to be the most customizable if we can get that working too. So we could see which way works better depending. So that's it for the presentation part. So let's just jump in and mess around.
Okay. You should all have a VM. Tell me if you don't. This is currently composed of every base VM we've ever made, which means it has all your standard Debian Ubuntu. It has some Fedora, Red Hat stuff, and we're starting to get off the thing, off the bean path a little bit. And then it has Solaris on there, and Open and FreeBSD, which I expect almost everything to fail on, especially the Solaris systems. So they're good. They're there for ensuring that you can check to see whether your stuff fails gracefully, I guess. There's also 5 client boxes too, which are all Debian 8 clones. If you want to start there, that's probably not a bad place to start, because those are probably a lot easier. Good news, Nick. The only system on the entire network that appears off the top of my, looking at to be broken is CentOS 6. Cent 5 worked for some reason. So everything besides CentOS 6 works. So yeah, I think the initial idea here is that you pop into some of these boxes and just start messing up with some materials.
I'm gonna throw some documentation
I would
in
throw some
here.
docs here. I said let's play around with PDSH first. The idea is probably going to be something like when I'll do an nmap scan, I can give you the range, and then let's just see what we can get into with PDSH.
Okay.
Not a good start.
That's okay. I was thinking we shouldn't do nmap in the actual competition, but yeah, you're thinking.
Well, wouldn't you? I mean,
there's no need for it in the actual competition.
No. So there's no need in actual competition because you have the IP address ranges. Currently, everything's assigned at DHCP, so I have no idea what's happening.
It's gonna be like 101 plus or something.
Oh no, it is 100. It's just I don't know like where
exactly which
where
ones.
it goes. Where the clients. Let me check what client 5 is. Oh, my pardon.
That's not right at all.
Like that one.
What?
I like that one. Naughty command.
Oh yeah, I think that's the red team folder I was in by accident. You guys shouldn't look at that.
Reminds me, I should get that together so I too. Just haven't felt like I've had the time to see who wants to make a routine or if we need a routine. So I mean, you have some client boxes. There's 5 clients, so there should be enough for everybody, at least in that regard. I will briefly be existing on CentOS 5 because it will be likely unbearable. Also, the advantage is that if anybody's working on a specific, like messing around with the box and has issues, we can just look at what they're doing. So, that's actually helpful in this case. So, pop up the lab, pick either a different system or client 1 through 5, and then let's start messing around. Yeah, so as I said, the clients are Debian based. If you don't know what the name means, then that's probably not the best system to be on. If you don't know what the word Solaris means, then don't pick the Solaris product. That's what I'm saying. That's the general indication here. If you don't know what the distro is, it's not good. Also, yum install PDSH on CentOS 5 does not work, so this is going to be new.
Does that even work right?
Is it in EPEL releases maybe?
It's probably an EPEL, which means it's not viable for CentOS period.
Really?
Well, fine. Yum install. If I have to do that, it's added complexity.
Somebody's already here.
Also, I don't actually remember, granted, how old CentOS 5 is, if it's an easy Apple install. So I'd honestly just start checking with app search and app install to see what you can install PDSH on those Debian systems. For some reason, I'm not seeing a lot of
Did you off or no?
Oh, I should have offed. Why do you not have internet?
Nope.
So it's actually not that.
Oh, it's probably
It's the
DNS.
stupid PFSense box is what it is. I don't know why it does that. I seriously I can't come up with a fix for why it. So what the issue, the main
We
issue
can
right now?
fix it.
What?
We could fix it. We just have to make our own PFSense.
I've modified it. Like I swear I've changed it so it should be.
Do you have a box to manage it from, or
No, I don't have one.
okay?
I mean, you can install GUI and something, but that'll take longer.
Yeah.
Man, just do it from curl.
Well, no.
Wow, that's not legitimate, I guess. Do it from the command line.
Do we not have? Is Debian 7 not in the repos?
I think. Oh, yeah. I think Evan cut it, or somebody cut it. Just check. I don't think it's there anymore. This is a repository, guys, in case you weren't aware, and you're gonna see here that I wasn't. No, what is 7?
Yeah, he
It's
cut it.
7.
7 is Wheezy.
I think I got cut it.
Yeah,
I was-
he's only got back to 8.
I was. No. This is Jesse 8.
Jesse, I think is 8. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm going to complain to Evan about that, but he says like there's nothing they can do because it's just they cut it from the mirror they mirror from, I guess.
Mm.
So it means I have to change that basically at some point. So repos are broken, Debian 7, which I guess only affects me right now.
Yeah.
So just checking here. If you guys like do an apt, if you just pop into a client and like do apt install PSH, does that work?
I don't have internet.
Yeah, same bottom 5.
Oh, should
You're
we
over
just?
internet client 5, so if you do that,
You need to fix your DNS. Make sure it
okay.
points.
Is there?
to-
Here, we'll do. We'll,
It just says connecting to repo.io.
Yeah. So here's what the issue is. Everybody pop over to client 5 quick. Just look at the screen. This is actually kind of funny. We can do this way. Or just Nick pop it up. I want to explain the whole reason why this doesn't work. You can zoom in. It's pretty. So what happens when we configure our DHCP is the pfSense box will assign the IP address, which in this case is that name server of 192.168.1.1, right? So it assigns itself as the name server. The issue is for whatever reason, the pfSense box does not actually serve DNS to the right place, ever, for some reason. The stupid default install will not serve DNS, even though it gives you itself as the DNS server. So what's happened is everybody has 192.168.1.1 in their etc resolve.conf. So if you just modify that file quick here, I mean, we just literally, and this will get reverted on a reboot, which is why I should probably fix the pfSense at some point. But if you just change it to this address instead, because this is one of DSU's ILab DNS servers, and then you do that up app like that again, you will see internet underscore dual.
I think I'll probably get reset like every 15 minutes or something though.
Will it?
Yeah, because DH client's still running, and that'll renew your lease every once in a while.
Curious. That might be it's probably should be every 15 like every hour.
Yeah, it might be every hour. I don't know exactly how much time.
Well, but that's the general thing. If you don't have internet, do exactly that and just modify the file quick and we'll fix pfSense here instead. But now the system should have PDSH, right? We do. So whoever wants to mess around with client 5, that one's already set up. You can do the same thing for client 1 through 4.
You want me to fix the PFSense? I can,
If you got it, you want to add it, if you're adding a blue box,
yeah,
sure.
I can do it.
I'd actually see this because I swear I've done it twice before. One time it worked, one time it didn't. Did you link like the slides in the chat somewhere?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Throw that in here.
Yeah, we got man pages.
This is shareable.
And if somebody has no idea what they're doing, then that's fine. Like I'm around if you want to tell me which box you're in.
There we go.
So let's just see here. The core issue of this whole entire thing is that SSH will not accept passwords from standard in, right?
Correct.
That's stupid. SSH Ask Pass? Have you ever heard that before?
SSH what?
Ask Pass.
There's SSH pass.
Oh, you've never seen SSH Ask Pass?
No.
Curious. We'll call it connect. This might actually work. Yeah, this might actually work. So it seemed like there's just an environmental variable that defines. Let's see about this. This is curious. I don't know. Let me steal my. I guess you took Debian 7, right?
Yeah.
I'll take Debian 8 then. I think there's plenty of commands for it. You want to keep it nice and Debian
Oh,
based.
so starting here.
Yeah, somebody has Debian 8. Just want to see your browser.
Oh dang. One too many VMs. They won't show anymore.
Oh yeah. So the VApp diagram will not show any more VMs because we've gone over the limit case. So what is this? Oh. So this random Slack overflow post seemed to indicate that if I put a script in the environmental variable SSH ask pass, that would return the password for a given host. Okay. But back to PDS social stuff. For nmap, you can also use -t5. Oh, you did. Okay. Layali. She's surprised that doesn't return faster. It's up arrow aggressively. So somebody's running an MS scan, so then we'll see where our DHCP range of hosts is at. Good enough. I guess we'll just all click.
It's so slow.
So where are we at roughly?
100 to 120.
I agree with you, but there's also one at 150.
Yeah.
The one above. Probably 120. 120, 121. I guess we kind of should wait on that, but whatever.
What do we have to do to get connected to the internet?
Which box you on?
Client.
So all we gotta do is modify the etc resolve file to change just any different DNS.
Okay.
So if you just do, oh no, that's not what I want. That one, we just need to change this line from 192.68.1.1, which is the PSense box, which is given itself, even though it has no DNS. That, which is one of the DSU DNS servers. And then we should be good to go for at least the next 15 minutes back.
What happened after that?
Nick thinks it'll redo its DHCP base, and then put that 192.68.12, but the one back, I don't really think. So. But I'm gonna look at the ask pass quick here, and then we'll see. So this is reduced and exploratory session. How the heck can we use
Probably, I don't know. Probably shouldn't start with an old system.
I'm fine. Hey, sure.
Don't die.
You have your bad butt.
Bad for your health. Also, you have absolutely zero idea and you have no interest in, trying to figure out how PDSH works for its map pages. You get stuff that we doing up here, then you can always watch me and Debbie and 8 try to figure out if SSH pass, or SSH ask pass is supposed to help anything. Which is supposedly an environmental variable that allows me to provide a password to SSH. Which would hopefully also allow me to provide it to like SSH copy ID, which allows us to copy keys over.
Can't you do something like in the SSH config file? There's like you do however you set up the keys so you don't have to type in TAC whatever. It's like identity file or something.
So you can add keys to yourself, but I think the core issue is like assume we have no keys.
Yeah, so is there a way to do like a password option in SSH?
The easiest way to figure that is to Google /Etsy
Well, no,
slash
like
I don't-
.ssh or
I don't-
/.ssh or /config or something.
I don't think that lets you do that.
I would look at Etsy SSH. I think SSH.com. Let me just show the path of it actually, because there is a client. There's a global client-side configuration file as well, which is what you're talking about. SSH_config. That if it let you put something in there.
I see.
This is that's what I'm looking at right now. But I don't know if there's any way to like tell it to use a specific password. Commit local command. Curious. That sounds like priv-esque.
Yeah, it's not possible.
You're not seeing any.
Yeah, it's like explicitly they make you do it interactive because that's secure and everything else is
That's
not.
secure.
Well, yeah, because we don't want you saving your password in a text file.
Then what the heck is SSH passpass? What the hell's that?
What
What
is?
are you? It's a thing. I swear it's a thing.
Isn't there something like SSH pass?
Oh no.
Yes,
it
that
is
does
a thing,
exist.
but it might be terrible. One moment. It might not be.
You could look at that. I'm not sure how well it will work with
So no, maybe
PDSH
this
or
is
not.
something completely different. Maybe this is something that's like it is a thing, but it's equivalent to SSH pass.
This says it's X11 based.
Yeah, see, this is X11 based, but.
That's gross, dude.
Wow.
We don't use GUIs.
So I thought it was built in.
Oh. Maybe.
No, it doesn't really. So that's. Why is SSH just annoying? Just take a password standard and beats it.
That's not good.
No, it's true.
They don't want us doing things like this.
But so I'm just trying to figure out if SSH pass might actually be something that's like compiled. It says it's an X11 thing, but I don't know if it doesn't correspond with some other stuff I'm looking at. Alright, let's look find it. I'll go back to PDSH. Slides, beautiful slides. Let me scroll down. So that requires. Okay. Here's. Oh wow, that's fantastic. So we got a different install program. we just lose? No, we didn't lose off. Wait. Here's a legitimate question, Nick. What's the chances that? Never mind. No, it's probably different. I'm actually wondering if the LDAP is based on the ILAB somehow, or it's based on. It's probably based on. Correction. If the captive portal is based on LDAP or the ILAB authentication, it's probably based on LDAP, right?
Maybe.
Want to later check? See if DevSec bot can authenticate to the captive portal.
Yeah. It's probably LDAP actually, yeah. Because I don't know how you would integrate it with Palo.
I don't know how you. Well, so that's actually funny because that's how I'm going to be doing my authentication for that whole WebGUI thing. So I don't think so. So back on this box again. Let's try running. What exactly does that TAC-R option do? So what's its name? RCFD module's name. PDSH.
Okay, I think I figured out why the pfSense DNS doesn't work. It is fully resolving. It's resolving stuff itself. It's not forwarding it to the internal DNS server in the ILAB on vCloud. So when you try, you can go to like anywhere else on the internet, but if you go to the repos, it gives you the external IP address, right?
Oh, okay. So where is it forwarding to that?
It's resolving it itself, so it goes out to like the root servers and does it all the way down.
Okay, do you have a fix for that?
We do. We configure it to do forwarding instead. So we disable this.
That's literally what it's okay. But does it needs to know a first hop for that? Isn't it open? I'm trying to figure out what is it using?
It just goes to the root servers.
Really? I get okay. I don't know how it okay. Apparently I don't know enough about DNS.
A DNS server, when it's installed, has all the IPs of the root servers already there.
So okay, that.
And then from there, it can get everything else.
How many servers is that really?
13.
13. That makes me wonder, like, how load balanced are these servers? That the entire.
No, you're not supposed to ask the root servers. You're supposed to use things like.
You're not supposed to, but clearly shit does. You're not. 13.
There it is.
So there's 13. How many requests do each of the servers get on a daily basis? I would think an incredible, like an internet worth of DNS requests. Like they're Google. They have to be Google. Okay. So this might be a good idea just to check. Okay, so Debian 8 just has SSH pass. Cool. So that's good news for that. Just trying to see here. A pseudo server will not be allocated.
Yeah, also the root servers are lettered for some reason.
What is
Yeah.
that? Well,
Like A through whatever K.
wow, half the alphabet doesn't be used. Only 13, not 26.
It's 10,000 queries a second. Normally.
Just a few.
Stop contributing to bad things. So, okay, let's look at here.
So it just like straight up uses the root servers. It doesn't even bounce off like Google or Cloudflare or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because the system DNS is set to the internal ILAB ones. So it would have to go outside in order for it to break stuff. Yeah.
What the heck? Do you know if there's an SSH pass in the remote server?
What?
SSH pass should only be needed on.
On the host, yes.
Yeah, it should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
In your example with PDSH with the exec format, the SSH dash, what is that, L or an I there? That's an L.
L, yep.
Percent U, percent H, what is that supposed to be doing?
Percent. It just does the username pass or user and host.
Okay.
So the tech L says this is the username.
But what is that getting, I guess, passed?
It's getting. Oh, I think I might have messed that up actually.
Well, I was wondering, because I'm currently getting 20 errors consecutively, so I figured something was wrong there.
I have to look it up again.
Because currently it's basically whining that I can't allocate pseudo terminals, which is one issue. And the second issue is like SSH passing, SSH pass is just failing me 20 times. Which is a moderate number for the errors.
I don't like the manual way of copying keys.
What?
I don't like the manual way of copying.
Well, see, that's you have SSH copy ID, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like now running that 20 times.
But see, that's the whole point. So the idea would be maybe you use some different options here. One is use exec, which doesn't need keys, it just uses pass. Well, so here's a different issue, Nick. When you use, in the slide demonstration, we have SSH, or we PDSH using -r exec. I guess that wouldn't be that bad, because you'd only use that to copy keys over, right?
Yeah.
Is the assumption here we have to get back to keys, because we need we have two options. We either need keys, well, no, there's three options. We need keys is one. Option two is we have the same path for every single host, which is bad. Or three is we have some way of using different passwords for different hosts. But does PDSH even seem like it has any way to do that?
No, I don't think
So
so.
PDSH is basically the option of it's keys or bust, I think, it's PDSH, right? It's just a question
I
of how
think
to get those keys on there initially. So the only thing we have to figure out for PDSH is just how do we use PDSH to get keys. That seems like number one right there.
Yeah. So I think you're on a good track, I think. You do SSH pass to put the keys on there, right? Or is that not working?
Look at Debian until I'm good wrong. Why does this not even? I think you just made corrections, but I'm not quite understanding. The -w flag is for host specification.
Yep.
And then it's just taking SSH pass as a normal argument.
Oh, right. That's another issue. So exit code 6 is that the host key is not verified.
Oh,
So SSH pass,
can we pass the flags?
no. So what you have to do is SSH-key scan for the IP addresses, and then you have to shove that into your known hosts file, and then you can run SSH pass.
You gotta be kidding me. Okay, so now we also learned that PDSH will not SSH to the host.
No, that's SSH pass
Wouldn't it
actually,
be
but
better to just manually do it 20 times and type in the password?
Would it? Would it?
Just confirming that each one works and then you can do
Cause see-
everything automatically.
Theoretically, the work should just be type out this one script versus typing the password 20 times, right? So theoretically, this is better. We just have to put the effort in.
Aren't you supposed to have different passwords?
No. So the idea, I think, where we're at right now would be if we want to use PSH, it would be we got to figure out a way to get the keys on there, and that's it. And then we use PSH for keys.
And then automatically disable the password login and check the
No,
password.
we can't do that. We can't do it.
we could disable root login
No, you're right. You
without
could,
keys.
what? Did you want to do that though? Oh no, okay, no, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so you'd want it. So we have key log. We assume we've gotten key log. So currently, the assumption is we have a single host that has the key to every single system in it. So first of all, we're putting on all of our eggs in one basket brilliantly.
True.
Like this is clearly the true way to do things. So that's one thing. Step two, we still can't disable like. There's a couple different issues here. One is we have to probably distribute those keys to like somebody else eventually. Or maybe we don't, I guess, if this is our only automation box. But you're right, we can disable root login on all the other hosts unless they have a password, because that'll never be scored. Well, we can't necessarily turn off SSH on all the other boxes because it may or may not be scored as a service. Do you have that packet quick here? You pull that up? I want to see, was that our packet, or was that my packet, or was that our packet?
Oh, that was our packet.
Okay.
Because that was the ones in the folder are like super low res.
I know I'm
So I had the actual physical thing. I just took a picture of it.
Okay, I know I'm being super descriptive, guys. I'm sure you understand the distinction between our packet and my packet.
Yeah, he's talking about when I went 2 years ago versus last year.
Because I went last year and then they went. Well, guys,
Do you want this one or the one before?
I just want to see the distribution of hosts and how many of them score SSH. That's what I'm kind of interested in.
Okay.
So this is at nationals. How many hosts do they score SSH? Oh, okay. It's that.
Yeah. So I think did it list it out, or did it not do that?
I think it might have, but
There
then
we
there's a
go,
difference between like scored.
So
that's
it's two. Yep.
So theoretically, well, would you want to do that though? Does it make any sense to disable password login?
For root, you could.
Not for all the other user accounts, you don't think?
Not if it's scored servers. No.
For everything except for the
If it's,
one they use for the scoring.
that's what I'm saying, except for non-scores and boxes. Is that too many eggs? No?
Well, yeah, you could do it for everything that's not scored. Yes.
Just disable it all the way back down to keep. Is that too many eggs, or is that too few? Is that too few baskets, I guess? You'd have to distribute private keys somewhere else too. There's no way you'd have one.
Yeah, that
What
is.
happens if
an issue.
red team gets in and just nukes the known host known hosts?
No, if they nuke the authorized keys, that could be.
Or
an issue.
authorized keys.
That's that's problematic. But I mean, so the concern isn't that red team does that. If red team has access to nuke your known keys, they have permission to nuke the entire box. The concern is they do it by accident.
True.
If you had a script, a good solution for that maybe would be to move authorized keys location to the global file.
You could. But
It'd make it less likely that.
Red team might also do that though.
What?
Red team might also do that.
That's also fair. That's actually almost more fair is that red team breaks your systems by accident. Yeah, so it's probably not a good idea regardless. But see then.
Like the bigger concern would be that your private key gets compromised.
Could you just allow key access only from your subnet?
You can restrict user login only from your subnet, but then they can pivot still.
They can pivot. What I would be, and once again, you can still do this. I don't think it's a terrible idea, but what you have to make sure you do is, normally nationals, we have to submit our passwords like a giant CSV file. So if you take that CSV file and you back it up somewhere, then it's less dangerous. Oh no, but so I would not disable password authentication. I would just have that CSV file around and not disable password authentication, but change all the passwords to
So is there a good way you could copy that stuff from every system to one host, then just like GPG encrypt it?
See, that's that point.
Yeah, that might be a good
Have
thing.
we looked for any like parallel? And maybe the option is just PDSH is not going to work good at Fabric. So here's the question: does Fabric allow me to do multiple password? Does Fabric allow? Is Fabric going to go back to the keys method, or can I assign a password host to each host? Password username to each host.
I don't know.
It's like one password.
See that's bad. I know that's bad. Out of the three options, I know that's the worst. I don't know which, and that's just a concern that if you have a single password for all the root user accounts across all your Linux systems,
Sounds like a great idea.
that is worse, I think, than having the one key for everybody, because it's more likely to get key logged off you at some point. They're not going to key log you.
Well, they can't keylog it off you if you're already logged in as root.
But if you have the script change them all at first, and then you go in and manually change the other ones, won't it save you some time, or prevent them for some time?
Say it again.
So the script will change all the passwords to the same password,
Yes.
but then you would have to go in and change all the other passwords again, so they all have a different password.
So ideally, you can do that automated. We normally don't, but there's no reason you can't do that automatically too.
Okay.
We haven't done it because normally I haven't need to, but it is possible to take some like take a source of randomness and use it to generate random letters and characters, and use that to randomly generate passwords for every single user in the system and export to a CSV file so you can send it to the scoring engine. It makes it means you have to have that CSV file sent to the scoring engine, because there's no way to like. How do you tell the scoring engine what the passwords are? Because you don't even know at that point, because it's just a randomly generated file of whatever it's going to
Just make them like 2,000 digits long.
See, there's no reason to do that. I mean, you can. It's one of the statements where like Red Team makes it very clear they just copy and paste passwords in anyway. So when your password's 200 characters long and you screwed up and you have to enter it in manually, it's hurting you a lot more than it's hurting them.
Make it so long that it overflows to a clipboard. So you can't just copy paste.
That would likely overflow your clipboard and overflow everything.
Get a bigger clipboard.
I do believe there is a max password length for Linux. I just don't know what it is.
Probably like
It's gonna be the max for whatever.
Max bits for the hash.
Yeah.
That's true. That's not necessarily true. What am I saying?
No, but that makes sense. But it should be true.
No, it should. No, it's not because it. Well, no, that's not how hashes work. You can hash whatever.
Yeah, but once you get above that length, then the
No, so I can
likelihood of a convergence.
I can generate. No, that's not true. I can, for example, I can hash 10 terabytes of data with a SHA-256 hash and produce 2 SHA-256 hash.
Yeah, but the chance of a collision when you pass the
I don't know what it would increase to, because like if I have to what though? It does increase, but like how if I have two different randomly generated 6 gigs of data and I use a 256 SHA-256 hash on both of them, something tells me my chance of collision is still.
But the chance of collision was something shorter, so that brute forcing it, they wouldn't have to find the 6 gigs of data. They could find maybe only a few hundred characters.
But whatever the chance of collision is still ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's still infeasibly to crack something. Yeah, so there we go. That's our crypto stack exchange. It's Yahoo Answers for. And once again, I feel like most people don't understand crypto very well, including me.
It's all math. Terabyte long password?
That's what I'm saying, because it just iterates through and compresses. Compressing functions apply to loop over and all blocks.
What happens if your password is so long it crashes the scoring engine?
Really interesting.
I don't know. I feel like Dwayne would appreciate that now. For us, I don't know if I don't think that's possible. I would hope. But
It's possible, yeah.
it's possible to crash our scoring engine.
Well, you could DOS it basically.
Well, here's a good question for you. How many characters can I input into the as a password right now?
Good
Do I have
question.
it?
Maybe.
Can I input 3 megs of data as a valid password?
Oops.
That's a good idea.
I don't know.
The scoring engine.
All this means is that Nick's gonna. If it became a problem, Nick would just implement a check server side.
His password length greater than 1 kilobyte.
Is it greater than 64 characters? You guys can live with that.
Yeah. Yeah, realistically, how complex do we need our password?
Realistically, you don't need 64 characters, but we want to give you some room to screw up, right? If you've chosen 64 characters, you've messed up.
What if we didn't choose those, the computer chose those?
The computer chooses. You made the computer do it. The computer does nothing on its own. Now we gotta look in. Is this a Flask extension? What is this?
Yeah, it's a form extension for Flask.
How many extensions are you currently using for Flask? You're not
WT Forms and then Flask Login, I think so.
okay, I was like, how many other things is there that I'm going to have to try to understand at some point?
Is the scoring engine in Python?
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh, please help us.
That's
No, it's not. What are you gonna write it in?
Assembly.
Give me a link. Do it.
I mean,
if you can write, see, the issue with that is it would be impossible to do maintenance on that thing.
yeah, okay.
But no, seriously, give me a better language to write a scoring engine in. I'll take it.
I just don't like Python for websites.
No, I don't. Flask is not terrible.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
But the reason, once again, like we're not focusing on the scoring engine's web GUI in most aspects. That's not the most important thing.
Wait, what? I thought that was.
You thought that was all it was a web GUI?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Like actually, we're actually having like a clock client side that you guys are actually scoring your own services. When you log in, there's client side code executed. No, see that's the thing. It's so much of it's the database and the polling. That'd be an interesting concept, though. Your website's just ran by other. I mean, I feel like someone's come up with the concept of stealing, like your comp cycles to like client-side processes in JavaScript or something, right?
For what?
Like,
If you had a website that got for example, if you're Google and you feasibly have enough traffic, you could input code dynamically into someone's client-side page, and then use it to perform calculations sends back to server.
Yeah, that definitely happens.
Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, there's like Bitcoin mining. Yeah, that does that.
Yeah, So I'm just that was just a statement right there. Like Google's just using one of the big like there is no actual like Google server farms. It's just us. Everyone.
Everybody.
Everyone's collective.
Uninstall Chrome on used to.
See,
They have one really beefy router.
it's just random.
And really big database.
I feel like that'd be. I love the idea. It's so terrible. It really is. It really.
It makes it really easy to scale up how many users you have.
But see,
Because it's exactly based on the amount of users you have.
Not only are you accessing.
That's like some. If you ever seen like some like password. If you ever seen some of the sites that are like we're generating you a list of whatever, it's all client side code. It's like it's actually beautiful because like if the user screws with the insurance like I want 20 trillion passwords generated, it's all generated in the browser, so it doesn't matter. You're just putting your legs out and doesn't ever.
Not only are you accessing Google.com, you're also hosting it.
All the web crawlers.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay.
I think it is possible to actually DOS this, but so that's something you can try at the next mock.
Would we get in trouble for that?
Define in trouble.
I don't think it would actually affect anyone else. You're just maybe. It might
Could
not
you
work.
overflow the database is the question, because you fill up the hard disk.
Like if we broke the scoring engine at one of the competitions, what would happen?
I don't know. 'Cause
Oh,
it depends who's
well,
running it at the time.
I think it would just break. Well, because like if you if you had a password that was too long, it wouldn't fit in the database field.
But what's your data cap set to in the database field?
It's like probably like 64.
Yeah, so you're not. It's just a charge 64 in the data. Yeah, so you're not. It depends who's running it. Nick's a pretty chill person in general.
But like if we did something that ended up crashing the scoring engine, what would happen? Would they be like, "Don't do that again," and then restart the scoring engine?
At a mock? Out of where?
Yeah.
I don't know.
As a reminder, Nick runs the scoring engine for the moment at mocks.
Yeah, if you did it at a mock, I'd be like, hey, stop it. And you'd be
So I'm
fine.
like, we're not encouraging you to do this because it causes problems when the competition goes down. There's another half an hour delay. We have to do it in the score.
Yeah.
If you do it like somewhere else, they might. I don't know. It depends on the competition. Somebody might kick you out. Who knows?
If you did it intentionally, you'd probably they'd be pretty
Possible
pissed
they
at
might
you.
kick you out, yeah.
I just have really good password policies.
3 trillion.
I think if it's that big, it's actually a bad password policy because that's just so hard to.
You can't justify it. No one would like to justify that.
It's 255 is the
Although I'm
max.
pretty sure the subject has changed.
Although
to
the
how
PCR is
people
set to
DOS the
text.
scoring.
Oh, always good things. At least the people can change, right? So, current objective would be using PDSH. Wait, you want to remind me why that doesn't work, Nick? That was actually the initial topic here. Is why does that command not work?
What command?
Oh no, you said exit code 6 SSH.
Oh yeah. Key scan. You don't have
That's
the host
stupid.
keys.
Can you? So you can't PDSH won't let you pass options through the SSH underneath.
Not that I'm aware of. Well,
like SSH
actually,
has
does SSH have option to?
Disable, yes, I believe it does. So like
Maybe.
SFTP, for example, if you use -ofla, you can pass commands to the SSH under interpreter underneath. Not interpret, that's the right term, but yeah. So,
Well, I think the problem is that for SSH pass, it doesn't have that option.
so here's the question here, is that actually an SSH pass option, or is that a PDS, so that is a, cause the first command you're executing here, just so I understand, is PDSH with -r tac exec, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're using the you're using the exec RMC module, whatever they call it, right?
Uh-huh.
Executes arbitrary commands.
Right.
So the first of the PDSH remote arguments is the local command to execute followed by further arguments. So then you're execing, what does -w do?
List of hosts.
And that's getting passed to PDSH.
Right.
And then you're execing SSH pass on the local host.
Yep.
So what the heck does actually SSH pass actually do then? A non-interactive SSH password provider. So then we're executing SSH pass, which is supposed to provide the password to SSH.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're just giving it TAC L. What does TAC L do on SSH? Or is that being still passed to?
That TechL is login name.
Well, yeah, percent use user. Right?
I'm not sure where it gets the value of %u from. It might just be current user.
Okay, then it provides the password to SSH. So why can't we, in this current command, provide TAC whatever to SSH that we're implementing right here? Because we're,
I don't think SSH pass has an option for.
well, that's what I'm saying, but aren't we executing SSH-L right there? Isn't that
Oh, yeah, you're right.
okay, because I'll start to get confused. Because I was like, are we not executing the SSH binary right there? Okay, so all we need to do is figure out how to tell it to ignore hosts, right?
Right.
So where I know it has to be an option. Okay? SSH ignore host keys, because who wants to validate the host they're connected to is legitimate? We don't care. And the reason that's implemented, of course, is that yeah, so it should just be -o
that's-
strict host.
That sucks.
What sucks?
That's so long.
Oh, it's gonna be long.
Yeah. It should just be one character.
We'll put it in.
I mean, yeah.
For us, it's just a script that's just one line.
Yeah.
Equals no. So if I run this again, I'll get less errors. Guys, I got less errors.
Oops. That's
It
wrong.
ran. It did things. It threw text at me. Logged in.
Yep.
Oh, mine did that too.
So
Now if you type ls,
I
You
have to press Control C. Unfortunately.
yeah, Control C shows you status, so you're still logged in.
I am.
Yeah, if you do Control C and then
But
Control
currently
C.
it's hanging for many
Yes,
hosts.
exactly. That's what I was running into before.
Oh.
Okay, it worked. Wait, but it's only doing it. Oh.
Okay.
Never mind.
I used a list instead of a range.
At this point, wouldn't it be simpler to just in serial? And it's like literally a batch for loop.
To do what sort of things?
So we
That's
can
nice.
we can provide a password to SSH, correct?
Yes.
We can provide a command for SSH to execute.
Well, yeah, you can do that with SSH pass. Yes,
Just
right.
SSH copy ID.
So, wait, that's a better question. Can we provide, using SSH pass, a password to SSH copy ID?
I don't know.
Because if that works,
Here, look
that's
what
a lot
I- Look
nicer.
what I just did on client 5.
What you could do is you could run a command with the you could just like echo the key into the file.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be through PDSH right now, because PDSH is failing utterly.
No,
That'd be through
no,
just like
look at-
SSH dash whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Look at client 5. That
I will look at
works
client
to
5.
copy the key to everyone.
I think you could
Does this work?
Yeah,
maybe.
that copies the key to everyone, and then it puts it into known hosts.
Yeah, so do it, run it. Prove it to me. Nah, well, shouldn't. No. You're confusing two files, I believe, but run it right now.
Here, if I remove known hosts and try to SSH into something,
Okay, I will explain what's going on here in a moment. Once you run
Then
this, I'm
it
interested.
pops up this.
Yes.
So if I run this garbage, then it does a bunch of stuff.
So ironically, your thing doesn't appear to be working, which is good.
And then
This is they already exist on the host system.
so
Which is
I
good.
do that,
Yeah.
and then I can't.
He's ran multiple times. Yes.
That.
So
It
Yeah, we-
puts them all
there's two different things going on. Your thing appears to be working, but you're wrong about the known host. So what the known host is client side. That's just
Yeah, I know. That's the thing that says, do you want to do this? Yes or no?
that stores basically a key, a host key saying that this host is who they say they are. So if they switch,
Which was causing the error code 6 on.
that is true. However, what you've done, and the reason that's bypassed is because you have the strict host checking equal no. So that's why that's not an issue. That's what's interesting is you're using SSH copy ID, and that appears to be working. So, what range did you use it? Okay, I'm gonna check that quick. So if I pop over
1 to 120.
let's pop into a couple other boxes quick here, like set 5, who theoretically works, and we need to verify that those authorized keys actually work, because if they did, then that line right there, Nick, appears to do what we want it to do,
Yes.
which is actually awesome that we figured that out.
Yes.
This session thing.
We should write that down somewhere.
That will be everything. Okay, guys, that's all we wanted to do. Okay, we'll go home. Let's check.
That's step 1 of like 15.
That's step 1. That's step 1. So, if your thing worked, what host were you on? No, that's I'll
I'm
figure it
on client 5. Yeah, I can SSH into random boxes now.
Can you show me the command you ran again?
That worked. Yeah, that's actually really nice. Okay.
That garbage.
Okay.
That garbage.
No, because that was exactly, you were actually, a step and a half ahead of me, because that's what I was suggesting to Nick right there.
Because the strict host key checking no just copies it over to known hosts. So that then in the
Yes.
proofs it, so then you only need to run that once.
That was a really minor problem, Jim.
Yeah.
The host checking was a minor problem. The SSH copy ID is what I
Why
appreciate.
wasn't that work?
What? Because I was using the command SSH. I wasn't just trying to going for actually commands.
Well,
Okay.
this SSH copy ID is like standard. That's
Yeah, it's a wrapper. But it is pretty standard. Like let's check here though. Let's check how standard it is. Let's look at CentOS 5.
Well, actually, you don't need the root app if you're logged in as root, but
Yeah. Oops,
Where do you
that's client
see that?
5.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Can somebody else log into CentOS? Can somebody else look at CentOS 5 quick here?
it's giving me an error too.
It is. It's the white screen.
Yep.
Yep, same.
So that's
CentOS 6 is working.
no. Well, CentOS 6 actually isn't working. I will fix it.
It showed up as a console.
Yes, it will have a console. So this is a different issue that we've been having.
WMKS.connecting.
Yep. Yeah, I've looked at it. I've looked at this one.
Oh wait, nope, it did something.
I reset it. So what literally fixes the WKMS error, which makes no sense because it's like a web-based console error for WKMS, is if I restart the box. It'll fix. It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. So if everyone wants to look at client 5, that's what we have right now. For client 5.
You mean cent 5 or no?
No, I meant client 5.
Okay.
I'll have to log into somebody else because I want to check if they had SSH copy ID. So we're using BSH there. The -R specifies the module we're using, which is just raw exec, which all it does is exec command on our host. -W is the host list, which in this case is 101 through 120. And we're executing SSH pass, which has to be installed to provide the password to SSH copy ID, which is the actual command executed on the host. -O as an option for strict check.
It's in Cent 5.
Strict host check equal no. Let's just turn off host checking, and where SSH copy ID just takes the root and add the host and logs in, and copies all your. So as a note, it doesn't just copy your main. It copies whatever you have. SSH copy ID will copy any private keys you have, or not any private keys, any public keys you have onto other systems.
No, not any. It copies just one of them. Because you can do tac I and pick an identity file.
Normally,
Or if you have an identity file defined in your
If you've ever looked at the output, it indicated, at least in my opinion, that it would take multiple if they were configured correctly.
Oh, well, yeah, if they're configured correctly.
Yeah, if you just have one chilling, then it won't. But if you register your private SSH keys or whatever in a certain place, it should do it. So it's normally not an issue. I don't know, because I don't know where it pulls them from. Normally it pulls them from the .pub file, right? You think?
It pulls it by ID, whatever the default ID file is in SS.
Yeah,
in SSH.
ID-rsa.pub. Yeah,
Or
pull that.
it pulls it from .ssh/config, whatever your identity file is.
Yes, but it should, as long as it doesn't pull from .authorized hosts, which would be
No,
terrible.
it doesn't pull from that.
No, I don't think it did either. So, but there's a possibility for it to pull multiple keys. But that's actually pretty nice then. So, just checking here in FreeBSD quick, because like that's another outlier system, whether we have SSH copy ID or not. Did you say CentOS 5 does have it, or?
Yeah. I think it's in whatever the SSH package is.
So, SSH copy ID fails, but it has, FreeBSD has it. Here's the ultimate test nick right here. Does Solaris have it?
I think probably, actually.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
Why did you ever have trust in Solaris?
Just, SSH is so ubiquitous.
What?
Well, that's kind of rude.
That's kind of rude. It's accurate.
What is Solaris for?
That, okay. Solaris.
It doesn't
weird because
doesn't
I-
really have a use anymore.
What?
Doesn't really have a use. It doesn't really have a use
So,
anymore.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Oracle, I think the only reason it existed because it was an enterprise Unix operating system before there was very many Unix operating systems. So that, once again, Nick can yell at me when I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
It has a lot of other weird things, like it was normally set up, or it seemed to maybe be bundled with Oracle's database they had on it. They were probably using it for some other stuff too. The Spark processor somehow ties into Solaris as well. Oracle made its own processor architecture that they had running with Solaris Unix systems. I really don't know what its real purpose was. I'm gonna be honest.
Is it even seen at all? Why are we testing it?
Because it is C, unfortunately. It will be. It has not yet not been at nationals.
So my command thing worked on all of them except for
Except for 114.
and 111, but I had to do 111 manually.
But see, what's good about that is it aired out graceful. What do you gotta do 111 anyway?
I ran this command, SSH copy ID of 111.
Oh, it failed on that? Can you figure out which...
it worked. Actually, I can just do this.
Okay. Always good. I don't know why they do random art. I really appreciate it though. Yeah, so we're all looking at client 5, by the way. So you said it failed or 11.
So, yeah, command and process. So it's something about it being like.
Can you log into 111 please and tell me what system that is? Because it appears that it's basically like just slow as crap on that system, right? That would be the easy solution.
That's FreeBSD.
Oh, fantastic.
So then, if I run this, then it shows up on everything but 111 and 114.
Yeah, but the nice thing about that with PDSD is that it's failing gracefully. So that would be step one. Is now with a fairly simple command, now we can execute commands on all hosts, but it's failing gracefully for the ones that failed. Here's a different question though. What if we want to?
All these were skipped because they already exist.
Yeah,
Interesting.
perfect.
So is there no who am I on whatever 114 is?
They're well, because no, it's just as they exited with execute one.
There's no who am I.
That's the only issue then. So execute something else then. Have it execute echo $$ capital shell. Or that works too. That's less helpful. You name, activate, execute, well, that'll, never mind, that'll be, have issues too.
Sun OS.
I don't know, I just meant trying to do that across all the systems. I would do, yeah, that'll probably fail. Oh, no, it didn't.
Linux. Whoa, how original.
We want what's cool about that though, we want super cool with this. It worked on it worked on Slayers.
Well, that's good.
It worked on 114, which is Slayers. So that's like that's already pretty fast. Now the next step is we can fairly simply add keys to all the systems, and we can execute arbitrary commands. How do we mass move files?
How do you spell no preserve root?
No, no, don't do that. I don't want to reset the snapshots. It'll take like 2 minutes. I did snapshot always before we started, so I can restore. Don't do it. Yeah, how do we mass move files in PDSH now? That's the next question.
How do we what?
Why do we need to do that?
Well, can you, I guess, run CHPath through all the systems? Just push CHPath and see what happens. Actually, do which CHPath. Because, well, I'm basically just saying how do you change all
Is
their.
it this or word?
Try that. Yeah, see, there you go.
So who's 104?
So 111 and 104. Wait.
Open BSD. 111 is free BSD and 104 is open BSD.
Wait, no, 114, there's no way it responded on that one. The last one? Yeah, no, 114 doesn't have it either, yeah. So, but,
yeah, no CH.
but Nick, what will be your plan for running the password script remotely in all the systems?
Yeah, that's true.
So is that a move file and execute script? Or is that something else?
I would say execute script and then pull file back, right? Because we want to randomly generate them, right? I think that would be ideal.
Ideally, yes, but you could run the script two separate commands, right? You don't need to run it as one command, right?
Right.
So ideally, command one would take your password script that you've already written, that is, perhaps a little more flexible for operating systems. Push it out, and then you execute them all, and then you try to pull back all the output, and then you delete the output, right? There's like a couple of different commands.
Right.
Because if you take this thing right now, you can wrap it. For example, if you scroll back up to your command, Dylan, yeah, like even that right there, you can, if you want, well, first of all, that's not that hard to type, but if you want to make a wrap around it, you can just do, /a, whatever you actually want the command to be, and it will work fine. If you just put in /a, like this line, and then arg, whatever, right? It'll pass all those args. Yeah.
Oh wait, you need to do the, is that it?
No, just do, let's get into it. Well, I don't remember what it is, because it should pass in all args through, right? No, it's not all args. Oh gosh, give me a minute. Because normally it'd be like arg1, arg2.
Here,
So
I got it.
You got it?
$$ at.
Does that include the initial arg though, or not?
Not sure. Let's find out.
Because that'll create some weird things. So ironically, because you did it that way, we're gonna have to edit the script. You just echoed it. You didn't have to run a file. Also, it interpreted that command when you did it, I believe. So if you look at that file now, it's not gonna be there at the end. Yeah. You have to write it manually. It interpreted it as the args being passed to the current command. So this will be curious now, yeah. If you just chmod it and then, but this is ideally what it would look like, right? /. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's so much better, right?
Yeah.
But so I know of one way we could do it, which would be we'd essentially have try running curl and wget for me, please, or just curl for starters.
Yep.
Remotely. So
Oh.
I want to see which host happens. Is what I'm trying to figure out here. Most of them. That's not bad. So
It's 114.
you could use some like curl to pull down the scripts from a web server you host. If, for example, that would be one way to do it. I don't know if we have better ways to do it right now, Nick.
But you just want to copy what?
Oh wait, no, but can we just, so we could use SFTP, couldn't we? Or SCP or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
SCP should work. Yep.
Does SCP use SSH as the underlying mechanism or not?
Oh,
We can just use
maybe.
Because whatever it needs to work with SSH paths, right? Oh no, I guess we don't need to. Never mind. That doesn't mean. Nope, that doesn't matter. You use keys now, right? So let's. Can you try your current command? Yeah, SCP. Exactly. I don't remember the syntax either.
That looks right.
No. Is that it? No.
You echoed it like a boss, but yeah. You echoed it like it. Oh, okay. That's new.
Interesting.
Well, Christine had a nice life. But for the rest of them, I guess, let me check my Fedora box. I have to chill. So I should have, I have it, yeah, it worked. So that's all you need to do is you need to do that, and you need to execute chmod. So Nick, this seems profitable. Yeah, this is good already. Oh, thanks. Now I have read, it's just read, it's empty file, yeah.
So like going all except for 115 and 114.
Yeah, but that's the good thing is it's failing gracefully.
Okay, well that's a lot of garbage.
Yeah, thanks for your LS. How do we pull it back though? Yeah, that's true. Does SCP have a way to do it?
Yeah, you can do SCP both ways. You just have to switch the arguments, and you need to know the full path, which is annoying.
That's harder. Wait, no, but you can execute well, you wouldn't need to in this case. Why would you need to? You can't use relative paths, is that what you're trying to say?
As far as I know, relative paths to the home location don't work. Whenever I've tried it, they like break somehow.
Let's try it right now.
Okay.
Let's try to pull. No, so have each. Let's have each one generate a file called uname.
Oh, okay.
Have it generate a file called uname-a. So just. Oh no, that's bad. No, not uname-a. What's a better way to do this? Date. Have it generate uname. One moment here. Let me get it set up. Uname, because uname will generate too many. Also, I don't think it worked. That one, whatever you. So that didn't get interpreted on our side. That got interpreted on the circumvention. That got interpreted on our side, not on their side. Okay. That's not. Yeah, curious. No, that one got. That one worked.
That worked.
Can you?
So then,
You do it. What you need to do, I think, is you need to wrap instead of doing -me, just wrap it with the. Yeah. Let's see this quick here.
Yep. Okay, so that worked.
Kind of.
I think I can SCP this back, but I need to have something.
You don't want me because me's name the same thing on each one, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to move 20-ish files that are all the same name back to your host. So they're gonna overwrite each other, right? So do look at your command again. Instead of outputting uname to me, output uname to percent or $, parentheses, whatever.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's a good idea because I can just do %h.
Oh, would that work?
And then
That actually did work. So that's perfect then. That's perfect then actually.
Yep. So then I can do
So I'm gonna pull up the Google documents. I don't want to lose this. This is some good progress.
There's a doc in Slack if you want to pull that one
Is
up.
there? Because this is almost better than. I don't know, Nick. Do you think Fabric's better than this right now?
Once we get into actual customized based on hosts, it might get tricky, but for broad stuff, I think this is better.
there you go. How's that?
Possibly.
Let's see. Client 5. It worked. goal in that case would be trying to make a password script that
Actually,
can be run on a vast majority of hosts without issue.
that'd be tough.
Would it?
You could get all the Linux.
Most of them right there.
Yeah.
If you can get a password script to run on all OpenSUSE, Fedora, CentOS, Debian based operating systems, and leave the FreeBSD, OpenBSD, and Solaris systems to whatever.
You could probably
How do you
do
change a password from the console on those?
BSD without much trouble.
Like automated change password.
Depends.
I think BSD you can pass passwords into password with standard in.
Yeah, that's right.
On Solaris, you have to edit the shadow file.
That's why you can't run scripts on it. So you have to. What happens if you run the password script right now though on a system? It won't break anything.
It just won't work.
Just do nothing, and then will it output a blank CSV file?
It would output nothing probably. Actually, it would probably.
Because it still can't still get it can still get the usernames from Git into
It would probably still output everything to the CSV file, but the passwords wouldn't change.
That's but you're saying it would. That's bad though.
That's bad.
Because that gives us the illusion of success.
Yes. We could modify the password change script to like check which for ch password, and then if it doesn't exist, do the BSD version.
But in this case, what we already want to do would be to generate them randomly, right?
So
Yeah.
what if we did?
I have that script in the doc.
What if we generated them randomly? What if we just generated the hashes and put them directly into the
Shadow file?
For everything?
Don't mess up.
Well, if we messed it up, then it wouldn't break anything because we're keyed, right?
Because we're what?
Because we have the SSH key. So you're not going to use password for that.
Here's a test for you. Delete the shadow file on one of these systems and then try to log in and see what happens.
How long is it going to take you to reset it when I do that?
Not very long.
Okay.
For one box, it's not very long. So choose a system.
Don't do it to all.
Choose a system. A system.
How about client 5?
Wouldn't that also cause
No,
problems with
not
the
client
scoring
five.
engine though too?
Yeah.
Because it needs the password.
Definitely.
It would. He's correct.
Um,
What have you done? Try the next one down. Try the next one down. I don't know what's up with 101 all of a sudden. Oof. What? Okay. This is new.
What?
This is sketch, man.
Why did everything till 108 go down? Oh no, it didn't. We have 108.
I don't. 101 worked on that. So why is your base? Yeah, why is that not working now? Do ls. No. Assume it succeeds. That's just stupid. Can you type anything in there? No. Huh. That's odd. Sure, I could try something in the middle range. Okay, there we go. No, yeah, use that one. Then just use it.
What?
Stuff's being weird. Networks are being weird.
It works now.
Is it PF since that? Well, no, because it should be a V switch, right?
Yeah.
That's not wrong. So try pop into 102.
Oh, nothing happened.
Okay, you messed something up. That's fine. Okay,
What?
thanks for echoing the phone. Pop in 102. Okay, now delete the shadow file. Actually, no. Figure out which box this is first. Do uname -a.
Debian.
Okay, thanks for the kernel version. Cat etc release. Is it not released? No, it's not released. What is it? Or is it proc release, right?
For what are you looking for?
Where's the stupid release file? I don't remember anymore, Nick.
It's Etsy LSB underscore release. Is
Try
what
that
you're
one.
looking for?
That's not always there either. LSB underscore release.
Or you could do uname tac A.
That gives me kernel versions.
Tac A should it depends on the system, I guess.
I don't
Sometimes
know.
it'll give you version.
What's the
Debian
host?
8, I
Well,
think.
okay, that's
Maybe.
choose the version that's not Debian 8 because there's currently 6 Debian 8 systems. I don't know which one this is.
Cool.
So try it. Don't do 101. Do like No, they're all gonna be this. Okay, this is Ubuntu. Figure out which version Ubuntu.
Ubuntu 12.
It's Ubuntu 12. Okay, that's one system on here.
Can we confirm that it's Ubuntu 12?
Aren't you telling me it's Ubuntu 12?
Well, it says it's Ubuntu 12.
Welcome to Ubuntu.
Okay.
I kind of want to
Delete the shadow file.
before I break it.
Delete the shadow file. It's fine. Someone's telling me it's Ubuntu 12. I'll believe them. I demand you delete the shadow. Okay, you know what?
Okay.
I'll go through it myself.
I'll do it myself.
What am I doing?
You're doing Etsy shadow.
This just seems like a really bad idea.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's but you were the one who suggested it. You were, so delete it.
Yep, that's a really bad idea.
Do it. Do it. It's fine. Awesome. Okay, now exit. Now exit. Now log in. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. No, we can't log with the shadow file. We need that. It's needed. Pam just doesn't work without it, I guess, is the issue. Yeah. So there's the answer. No, because if we rewrite all the shadow files and we break them all simultaneously, we can't get back to the box.
So we have to reset everything.
Yeah, we have to reset in a competition. You might as well go home because you're not going to win anything. If you go to nationals, ask them to reset the entire environment. You know what I should have popped in here, Nick? ESXi.
Ooh, yeah.
No, we're
Do it.
I don't know what.
I already got like 21 boxes right now.
Can you
Doesn't
reset
matter.
Ubuntu 12?
I don't think there's any images for
We
that.
don't need it.
Right?
There are no images for that.
Oh, do we not have any in the catalog?
Nope.
Oh, probably not at this point anyway.
Nope.
Well, why not?
I don't know. I'm lazy, and I just punish myself by reinstalling ESXi every time we do a mock.
The bigger question: why was that not like defined as a base image ever?
I think it was.
Was it?
I think
I
so.
would have done it. This was Arch Linux, and
Let's. Oh wait.
I was gonna have Eric try to, spend
Oh, wait.
X number of hours trying to get a VM working on Arch Linux versus just doing it in the IO lab.
Oh shoot. Okay. Hello. There are people in the YouTube chat.
Oh, they're slacking us now. Sorry, people.
No, Jacob was like, "Hey," Slack me. It was like, "Hey, someone's in the
I
chat."
apologize for ignoring Slack.
I don't know who this is though. He's from France. Hello.
Hello. I'm sorry. I do not know how to pronounce your name. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna try.
So go with that.
Unfortunately, we are talking about a lot of things you probably can't see
Yeah.
because of the way we're doing this,
True.
which is our fault. Do you know what the stream delay is, Nick?
It's like 30 seconds or something.
30
Probably.
Ooh. Wow, that's gonna be hard to maintain conversation.
Well, we got the chat. I can just chat with him.
That's true.
Well,
Yeah.
the chat should be real time.
Chat's real time.
Yeah, but if it takes 30 seconds for them to hear what we said.
No, the chat's real time.
So
I can
The
type in
stream
chat.
will see
Okay,
the-
so you're
yeah.
typing as well.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
interesting. So you just tried to do it again. So what's also interesting, Nick, is that if SSH copy ID, you can run them across like an entire range. Apparently, it's not too terrible.
I mean, it's slow, but it's not.
It's slow, but it's
horribly
not
slow.
dying.
And that's
Like,
actually relatively fast.
It's faster than an Nmap scan, depending on what you're doing. To just do it, which is,
At T0.
No. What's the default state? You know what's the Nmap?
3.
T3? Okay.
Where was that? 6 of us?
Yeah, we're 10,000 a room, not just 6. Oof.
That's like almost as many fingers as I have. That's more people than were at the dance last night.
Oh, there was a dance last night?
Do you know what his question was, Nick?
No, he was just like, "Hey, I guess you guys aren't reading comments," and that was it.
Oh, he says hello. Okay, I'm sorry, man.
Susie SBSU student.
What would it, I don't know. Okay, that's fine. I don't know, man. We get sidetracked pretty easily.
Yeah.
We'll probably close it up soon enough, to be honest, though. Because we've been going for an hour. I don't want to keep people too much for that. This is good.
111 just hates everything.
Which one is what? It's FreeBSD, right?
I think so.
So,
It's just still processing.
and then this is one of the key issues is that when you're thrown into a competition environment, not everything's the same.
Oh hey, 1.1 worked.
So like we're gonna have issues, but it works. What's really weird is the basic key copying command works in Solaris. And all we have to do to make this work in other systems is to install SSH pass, PDSH, and then move over the private key. That's all it should take, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this method already is not too bad.
Yeah.
And then if you, Nick, if you strike, what was that?
He said French students suck.
Oh wow! But if you,
Oh boy, this is slow.
which boxes?
Running stuff on the entire network.
So ideal, and this
Is
is
there a
where,
way to ignore exit code 255?
I
You
think
can-
that means that something's not installed, right?
Well, it means no wrap. Like, boxes offline.
I
Oh.
said code 255, apparently there's no active host.
Okay.
So is it possible to just be like, ignore hosts that are offline?
You could pipe it to grep and it would hide the output. But like that's what you're asking to do because you're trying to run the command of the entire network. So of course it's gonna
If you
fail.
run it once, you can do exclude, I think, with TechX on PDSH.
Let's see.
But see, in this case, you ideally already build out. Let's assume for a moment that you build out 2 of these files. One of these files for the systems you know are going to be good, like Debian, Ubuntu, or that we've known from experience, like FreeBSD should work for most of our functions, so we'll put that in there. And the second list would be like Solaris, FreeBSD, OpenBSD, there, right? The off-brand. But in either case, you don't need to try to run on the entire network. You would have a list of hosts.
Well,
100,
yeah, but if
110,
it's like
120, 150.
annoying things where they're not all right next to each other, and you have to go manually type them.
Well, you type it in once, right? So in this case,
I guess that is true.
in this case of PDSH, we type it in the .1 script for 192.168.1.1, comma, .2, whatever, right? So we do it once and then we'd be good to go. And if we want to take another host and turn it into a, mass push box, we just copy over the script, the private key, and install SSH past the PDSH and it should work, right? I don't remember how the general European education system works. I don't know where that links at. Yeah, I don't know what that No. Well, I don't know if they use a concept. I don't know when, it's different though, because they don't have elementary, middle school, high school. They have, well, at least they have different names, right? And the grade levels don't line up as like the U.S. They're not equivalent to U.S. systems. Offensive security is hard because you get banned on YouTube. Or you get you get strikes for promoting hacktivism. That's what happens when you try to do offensive security content on YouTube. No, Nick, no! What are you doing? Stop trying to crush on hopes and dreams. Nick, is trying to convert him to defensive security, which is fine.
No, it's in quotes, so it's not.
You just gotta call it defensive security.
But
Oh,
you're doing offensive.
and that's
But you're only doing it for defensive purposes.
Yeah.
well,
Well, that's what
the term offensive security by itself isn't that hard either, right? It's not until you start explaining what you're actually trying to do with it. It's just don't use the word hack.
Yeah.
Or
Exploit,
attack,
break,
or exploit, or
attack.
break. Yeah, any of those. Those are all bad.
I feel like they still exist. on
We are
YouTube.
promoting computer security through an offensive nature. That's wow. Oof. Poor everyone.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Good idea, bad idea.
How long has he been in the chat?
He's been here for a minute. He's been here.
Good idea, bad idea. Copy the
So-
SSH key for this machine to all of the rest of the network, and then have them call back with SSH
Terrible.
to copy the files back.
SCP works though. Why would we do that to ourselves?
I don't know. I feel the need to overcomplicate something.
But see, in that case, that would create. So that would literally create a network where everyone can SSH into everybody else. That's terrible.
Well, no. You generate a new key, copy it to all the other computers, and put the ID on this one.
Yes, but just to confirm, now everyone can log into our system, which has a private key that lets us log into everybody else.
Exactly. See, now we can make feedback loops. Where they log in here and then execute the script that logs in there and log in here.
No.
And then getting on any box
It's
gets
like
them into
a
every
fork
other
bomb,
box.
except it's over the network.
I mean, well, no, it's not that. It's every box to SSH to our box, which to SSH to every box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the
not
So
good.
this SSHs into all of them, to SSH back into this, to SSH back into all of them on that connection, and it just creates a fork bomb with SSH sessions.
On what? But like why?
Slowly fucking this computer.
So, what are we currently missing? We have a way to transfer files. We have a way to do like this is basically good for PDSH, right? It's just Fabric's next, right?
yeah.
So I guess that's. Do you know if Fabric can do PowerShell?
No.
Well, that's. I'm probably gonna say we should close it for tonight because you guys have been here
I
for.
don't know what that means.
I mean, I don't care, but okay. I
What
guess
does he
I'm
mean?
wrong.
But he says he got them all.
You think I have friends? Wow.
What is he trying to convince us at this point? Oh, Nick's being aggressive. As a reminder, Nick, this is on the stream currently.
I know.
With all 4 people watching.
That's
Two of them
true,
are that
but I don't think we need to see Nick's conversation with the guy in the chat.
Wait,
One of them is this guy.
is he saying
Wait,
that he
who's
got
the
all
third
of like the
person?
passwords
Oh,
we've been
that
using?
guy.
I don't know what he's
What?
trying to say.
Because if like we've just been using
He,
default grids,
I
so
feel
don't know.
like he is now attempting to impress us by saying he has all the datas. I don't know what to say at this point, unfortunately. Okay. I think you need a little more description than that, but I appreciate you. Hey, you're on.
Would you trust the
Fine.
link he sent?
Well, so
If it's to GitHub, I'll look
Well,
at it.
yeah, it's true. It's a GitHub, but also because we're on Linux's. You don't need to add him as a collaborator. He wants your. I'm gonna be honest. Linux, as far as where it doesn't have much, is in terms of like auto run. So you download a file on Linux that is Python, you can just open it up anyway because it's interpreted. So GitHub or GitLab ? Okay, just give us a link, please.
What's GitLab?
GitLab is GitHub that's not run by Microsoft. That's where we're at.
I don't think I have
So people that
GitLab.
hate Microsoft with passion.
Technically, it is a different piece of software, but it still uses Git in the same fashion. Right? Those guys, it's Git, right? So. I don't know if
To
that
be
means-
fair,
You said you're
there's
correct
like
about what GitLab is.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
that didn't feel like 30 seconds.
That was not 30 seconds. I think.
It's probably more like 10, 5 to 10.
I think it's 30. I think YouTube imposes 30 beyond whatever you send.
Is that popular?
Oh, get out.
No. I think it's fairly popular.
GitLab isn't owned by Microsoft. Yeah, no kidding.
What's it owned by?
Well, but that's what he's saying. Yes. Nick over here is running. No, what version are you Ubuntu on, Nick?
18.
What kernel is that?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. 4.0, 5.0.
What's your default?
Default kernel? Okay.
415, yeah.
That's not bad. The fourth, yeah, that's pretty. I mean, that's where we're at. I don't know who's on a 5.0 kernel right now, unless you're at Fedora's on 5.0 Arch. Yeah, anybody that's cutting in. Everybody else is chilling for.
I don't think he wants to give us his link.
We want his link though.
He's too late to give us his link.
That's not that old. Because I mean, seriously though, who actually runs the 5.0 kernel at this point? Arch Linux, does Fedora, runs SoftOS 8.
We got 20 minutes until dinner's close.
Yeah, we'll close up.
Okay.
Okay, so that's gonna be that's gonna be tonight. Next time
That's
we'll be.
the motivation we needed.
Do this time every week.
Yes.
This is a bad time for you.
I'm good with this.